Hello, I'm Debika Chaudhary, Gallup coach and co founder of L6 Foundation, bringing you conversations on how to engage employees. Today, we're going to discuss love or fear. Which way should leadership go? Being a manager is not about wielding power and control, it is about fostering an environment of growth and positivity. Unfortunately, many managers lead with fear, which can create havoc and a toxic work environment. Fear is a natural emotion that triggers our needs for survival, but when it becomes a default emotion, it can lead to pessimistic and cynical behavior. Such leaders are curt, blunt, and resort to callous, harsh language and actions. This kind of behavior often leads to quiet quitting. Remember the video that went viral of the HDFC manager in Kolkata? This is just one example of the many stories that go unheard. The philosophy of us versus them that's propagated by such leaders always leads to conflict. Monitoring softwares, activity sensors, and the likes may be used to ensue control. However, these means are not sustainable and sooner or later fall apart. Leaders today need to adopt a more collaborative and inclusive approach to motivate their teams. Remote workers cannot be monitored through fear. They need mentoring, autonomy, and trust to perform. Agility and speed have become buzzwords in the knowledge industry of today. Companies need employees to innovate, to be able to take risks, to be enthusiastic and engaged. Leadership needs to metamorphose into one that is more open, candid, and compassionate. Leaders who operate with love are trusted. Employees believe in their intent to work towards a common goal. I have recently made a video where I spoke of the need of managers to demonstrate their vulnerability. When you have a generation of workers who are keen to learn and a desire to grow, then fear has no place. NASA is an organization that has strict adherence to rules and regulations. On their website, there's an interview from 2011 with the then director of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, Robert Lightfoot. Here's what he has to say on the top qualities of a leader. Managers do things right, he said. Leaders do the right thing. You've got to adapt. Don't expect your workforce to adapt. People can see through you. I take my job seriously. I do not take myself seriously. Leadership is all about people. Nothing flies itself. Nothing builds itself. Nothing designs itself. It's all about the people behind it. If you're not evolving, you're not growing. Leaders are born with only one thing they need: a backbone. They must grow a wishbone and a funny bone. A good leader has a sense of humor. You need to tell a story to make a point about yourself, not about somebody else. And don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. A leader must have a positive attitude. In my opinion, the only thing you can control in life is your attitude. If you're not a little anxious about leadership, you're not paying attention. Wisdom is what you get from a lifetime of listening when you would have preferred to talk. Leaders must listen. Leaders have to control their emotions, at least outwardly, and to share what you know rather than hoarding knowledge as a means to preserve power. Leading change is hard. You've got to challenge every assumption. There's equity in the status quo, whatever that status quo is. Clearly, None of what Lighthouse said was indicative of fear led approach, but on the contrary, it was one of care and compassion. Unless there's a personal equity involved, are you doing enough to evolve your leadership style? When leaders in organizations such as NASA, where you have a hero complex, can think differently on leadership, why can't you? Thank you for watching. If you have any queries or you would like us to help you out with a problem, don't hesitate to write into us. We love emails and we love responding to them.